morning. Yeah, this is my story. Not anybody else's story. This is my story about my encounter with the divine. I just wanna talk about my experience with the supernatural being. My first encounter I had with the supernatural or the divine being, God, was when I was around 6 or 7 years old. I went over to my neighbor's yard. My little sister was over my yard on Pennell Road. I went over to my neighbor's yard, Mr. Gibson. We were picking some fruits. Now Mr. Gibson had some very, very vicious dogs, bad dogs. And while I was over Mr. Gibson's yard as a child, the dogs, about 4 or 5 of them, come charging towards me. In my little mind, I know if these dogs catches me, they would tear me to pieces. I didn't know what to do, so I ran towards the fence. And as soon as I got to the fence, something picks me up and put me over the other side. Even to this day, my mind is blown. Still cannot believe, don't know what picked me up and put me over the other side. But that was my first encounter with the divine. Sometime between 1976 and 1980, I had a similar experience. Political violence was going on in Jamaica. And I was coming down Holt Road, and I was attacked by a group of men from Yancey Place in Olympic Gardens. The gang was led by a guy named Buttup. I run down Holt Road to go across to where I live, because there used to be a gate in that yard. But when I run into that yard in the night with the gang pursuing me, when I got there, the gate was not there. And as I run towards the fence looking for the gate, the same thing happened to me as when I was a child. Something picks me up and put me over the other side. And that was another one of my encounter with the divine. The biggest encounter I had with the divine is around 1979, I would say. 79, before, in the midst of the 80 election. A friend of mine was sick. His name is Derek Samuels. He was sick. I went by his house and his mom gave me some medication to give him. He was in Tower Hill. I took the medication to him in Tower Hill. It was a Sunday evening. And I remember giving him the medication and leave to go home. I was staying with my brother at Pine Road in Tower Hill. And I went to give him the medication. And I remember on my way home, I was attacked by a group of men, which was his friends, who told them that I had stolen. He told them I had stolen their caustic soda. At the time, I had no idea what caustic soda was. They said it was used to make soap. They took me inside a house where they tried to beat me. But for some reason, all the punches and whatever they were throwing, nothing seems to be connecting. So one of the guys, Mikey was his name, because I found it out later on, he was called Mikey. Mikey took out what we would call in Jamaica a kitchen bitch, a very big knife, and he tried to cut me. But every time he bring the knife down towards my face, Instead of a cut, it turned out to be a slap. And I remember distinctly hearing him over and over again. Oh, me can't cut the boy. Oh, me can't cut the boy. Oh, me can't cut the boy. So finding out that they couldn't arm me inside the room, they took me outside on the streets. Really declare if I can't tell them where the caustic soda was, I would get 2 shots in my foot and then 2 in my head. While I was outside walking, 2 men from Compound. Compound is another place in Olympic Garden. 2 men from Compound. One was Skin Up and another one was Archer Paul. And they came and they saw the group and they came and they said, Pumpkin, what's happening? And I told them. And remember when Archer Paul looked at them and said, unless Funo gun big like my gun, you can't do this huge or nothing. And they took me and they led me out of Towile and they brought me home. That was another encounter with the divine. The guy that I brought the medicine from, Derek Samuels, the one that I brought the medicine for, and he wanted me to get killed. Do you know how he died? Shortly in Spanish Town. He went on a robbery. They blinded him. They cut off his head, cut off his 2 hands, cut off his 2 foot and chop his body in 2. That's how he died. Mikey, the one that was trying to cut me, he got shot right in front of Olympic Garden Clinic, laying down on the ground in his blood. That's how Mikey died. There was a friend that I know from I was about 5 or 6 years old. We used to call him, his name was Paul, but they call him Jonja Paul. Jonja Paul, because I thought we were friends, he said, call me one day. Said, you want to talk to me? I went. He said to meet him over by my other friend, Miga, Douglas Davis. I went to meet him over by Miga, and when I went over there, a whole bunch of men attacked me from Binns Road and Scarlet Road and Rear Road, trying to kill me. And when they cornered me inside Miga Man house, and I thought that was the end of me, my childhood friend by the name of Devon Fisher, never forget that Devon Fisher, Danny came in and put his arms around me and said, listen, no, can't do Pumpkin nothing. And he took me all the way around Scarlet Road, down Binns Road, and up. What's the name of that road? I don't remember the name of that road, but he took me all the way up Collins Road, took me all the way up Collins Road, and took me back to where I live. And said, Pumpkin, go home. And I went home. That was another of my encounters with the divine. Jonja Paul was killed shortly after. And since then, I have many other encounters where I see God divine, even driving my car got out of control. And when I thought that was it, something just hold the car and took it back and put it back on the road. I have many encounters with the divine. That's why sometimes people may say to me, how come you read this and you hear all about this and you still believe that there is a God? I believe that there is a God, not from what I read inside an ancient book, but I believe that there is a God because I have seen him take time out. And when I say time out, I mean time up of a beam so powerful, take time out to come to the little island of Jamaica and protect somebody who is in everybody's eyesight was insignificant as myself. But yet I have seen him done it over and over and over again. So therefore, my experience with the divine is not written what I got from some book, but I can reach back in the book, and it's one thing I can actually refer to and draw association to. Psalms 46 verse 1. God is my refuge and my strength, and he has always been a present help in time of trouble. So therefore, my faith is secure, because I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that there is a big, powerful, supernatural being that has been watching over me all my life. This story is my story. It's not your story. It's not their story. It's my story, which I can tell you about the goodness, and for the lack of a better word, of what the Lord has done for me. And that is my story. There's many other things. Many other small things that I could testify about. Many encounters I have, even when I went to Clarendon for 6 months. Many people in Clarendon tried to destroy me, come against me in several ways, trying to hurt me. And each and every time they tried to do it, I walk away without a scratch, because I have divine protection. Some people will hear this and they will say your ancestors are fighting for you. They will say this are fighting for you. But in my mind and my conclusion, I had divine divine help from the great creator of this universe that we live in.